Am I the asshole for saying that I make the rules in the house I inherited from my mother? Some background info. I, 20M, started to live with my bio father and his wife a week ago. My mother died when I was 18, and since this house has been passed down on my mother's family for generation, I legally inherited it. My mom and bio father divorced when I was 15. I was never really close to him. To be clear, if I were to rate our relationship, it will be 3/10. I don't know the reason, but we're just pretty civil to each other. Last year, he married this woman somewhere abroad, and although I was invited, I didn't go because that woman and me are practically strangers. We never talked before, and I only know her appearance from a picture. Because of the pandemic, my bio father asked if they can live here for a while since his pay was recently cut down, so it's hard to keep living in their apartment. Since we have a decent relationship with each other and him saying that they'll agree to any condition I set, I won't dive further in the conditions, just normal roommate stuff, like not meddling with each other's business. I let them in last week. The first few days were actually pretty normal, just some snide comments from his wife when he's not around about my lifestyle, my house, my decorations, my garden, and whatever she thinks is not good enough. I just always answer her with, "It's my life, I'm an adult in my own home. I would appreciate it if you don't voice out your unsolicited opinions." Then yesterday, for whatever reason it is, she just barged into my room, demanded for me to be healthy and bond with them more, then proceeded to take my laptop, which I paid for, and my own, separate modem, which I also pay for. Of course, I was irritated and said, "What the F are you doing?" She replied with, "I'm making you live a healthier life. From now on, I will regulate your use of internet and laptop. I will be in charge under this roof." After hearing that, I can't help but laugh. I just laughed real hard at her face. Like tch. This is my house and I provide for myself. I just answered her with, "You high on marijuana or something? Seems you forgot this is not your house. This is my house. You don't get to make the rules here, I do. Disturb me once more and I'll make sure you'll live in the streets." My father is livid last night and he demanded me to apologize to her. Of course I didn't lol. I just reiterated what I said to her. That this is my house and if they problems or whatsoever, they're free to live in the streets. Now some of my cousins are telling me that I shouldn't have used my house that I inherited from mom to shut them up, especially now due to the pandemic. I don't really care about the two of them, but I value my cousin's opinion. Am I the asshole here?
Not the asshole. They're free to move out if they don't like it.
Not the asshole. They've broken the agreement, and you have every right to ask them to leave. Your cousins can take them in if they want to.
Not the asshole. Doesn't sound like you use the "my house" thing often. This is exactly when you should, when she somehow feels like she should be in control. In what world would she be the one making the rules? She sounds painfully entitled. Maybe this is a pride thing for her. You definitely needed to remind her where she lives. This kind of behavior is unacceptable. If your cousins have a problem with it, they can take them in. Plus, you know, if it was her house, she would be more than happy to let you know, her house, her rules.
Not the asshole, but their behaviors are definitely going to escalate. Put him out before they can establish tenancy. Let the cousins who think you're wrong house them.
Not the asshole. She forgot who she is. You reminded her. She should pray you don't need to remind her any further.
Not the asshole. They are in your home, it's not even in any way your father's since it came purely from your mum's side. Right now, she's not your stepmother. She's your father's wife and bonding doesn't happen overnight nor by demanding or overstepping boundaries. Your dad is going to have to face the reality that they are relying on your hospitality and really cannot call the shots. You are not being unreasonable in your requests of them, so they need to understand their place in the equation, so it would be bizarre to not use that in your response to their whining. Why do your cousins think it's reasonable for this completely new stranger to come into your home and start telling you how to live? The whole point is dad and new wife not understanding that it very much is your house.
Not the asshole. Let me get this straight. Your father's wife tried to confiscate your own personal stuff while being a guest in the home you own. What the actual fuck? Tell her to get bent. Tell your father to get bent. Tell every single person who wants you to apologize that they need to get bent. Shut that shit down hard.
Not the asshole. You are 20, you could have lived in their house and the way she acted still wouldn't be acceptable.
Not the asshole. I would have kicked her out after that.
Parents. My house, my rules. Parents living in their child's home. Hypocrisy at its finest. Not the asshole.
Absolutely not the asshole, and I would get this unhinged woman out of your house sooner rather than later, before they claim tenant rights and start squatting, having friends over and saying it's their house, trying to go the whole shebang.
Not the asshole. If I were you, I would sit them down and tell them that if there will be further problems, it's probably best for them to start looking for somewhere else to stay. You don't have to put up with their attitudes just because they are older, and that's what the issue here is. Age. She is looking at you like you're the child, and she's in charge. If they weren't your dad and stepmom, and were just random roommates in your house, would you put up with one of them barging in your room, and taking your things, and demanding you follow rules that they set? That's crazy. I think the way you handled things was perfectly reasonable.
Create a written agreement, lease, so they understand the terms and how you intend to enforce them. Don't forget to charge them a family discount and a term length 6 months, 8 months, etc. If they refuse to sign, give them, in writing, an eviction notice, leave in 30 days.
Not the asshole. Your house, your rules. If they break the rules, they can leave and the cousins can live with them. Or not. Most of the time people who say, "But you have to because family," are the first to say, "Why me?" Pikachu face. My gloom and doom wants me to say check the laws where you live if you are able to throw 'em out or not. Days ago I stumbled over a video on YouTube. Woman invites friend who didn't have an apartment due to moving and couldn't get rid of her. Had to do the whole eviction process.
Sounds fake. You are the asshole for making this up. Are you high on marijuana? LMAO. Not the asshole. Your cousins can take in these ungrateful a-holes.
Not the asshole. Do yourself a favor and kick him out ASAP before they are there long enough to claim tenant rights.
Not the asshole. That was a major boundaries issue to act like she was going to control you using your own devices that you pay for when she's under your roof. Maybe it could have been said more nicely, the she can be on the street part. Then again, if she had the nerve to do what she did, gentle probably wouldn't have come through.
Not the asshole. Get them out right now. Get advice first, but if they've only been there a week, you might be able to toss them before they can claim tenants' rights. But, if you've got a signed and agreed tenancy agreement, you might have a problem, which means you need to start the termination eviction process. Get advice now.
I believe this is false because who can just say that to their host like seriously regulate rule and she somehow forgot she was at your house? Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Cousins are okay with her trying to dictate their lives. Gee, thanks cuz for taking them in. I appreciate it. She tried to take your PC away. She is a guest, not a homeowner. Your dad livid? Why? Because you did not accept her stealing your PC. B. Did not accept a relative stranger making insane demands of you, another adult. Or C. Because he thought he could take over your house and now it turns out you have a stronger spine than anticipated. Not the asshole. Op. Make sure you can kick your father and his wife out in the event they overstay their welcome and refuse to leave. The lack of boundaries and stepmother insane behavior concerns me.
Not the asshole. The agreement was to live as roommates, and roommates don't get to meddle in each other's business. They're not in charge of you any more than you're in charge of them.
Not the asshole. She explicitly tried to take over your house. She literally tried to demand an adult hosting her obeyed her commands. Tell your cousins and father exactly what she did. That she tried to steal your possessions and demand you let her run the entire house.
Not the asshole, duh.
Not the asshole. I'd be telling them to leave and live with the cousins. I love it when people judge others and have an opinion but will run the other way if they had to live with them instead.
NTA, you hit the nail on the head. Your house, your rules. If she doesn't like it, that's cool, leave. You're doing them the favor. Your dad needs to get his wife to apologize to you. She was the one who barged into your room, and told you she was in charge. No BXXXX, I am in charge in my home. Your cousins can keep their opinions to themselves, and if they feel strongly they can let your dad and stepmother live with them.
Not the asshole. I think your stepmom is about 50 years old, and to think at that age you can parent a 20-year person, in his own house, you have to have some serious mental issues. Same goes for your father, who should prioritize you over his wife, so I'd do a little reality check on him to remind him how much of a failure he is.
Not the asshole and kick them out before you legally have to evict them. I'm in the US, not sure what the laws are where you are. ETA if this is how their stay with you started, imagine how much worse it could get. Kick them out before they become tenants with rights and the real nightmare starts. You have only seen the beginning.
You're not my mother, you're just someone my father is fucking. I would have gotten savage. Actually probably would have started up the eviction right then and there. This isn't going to work out op. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. She's acting like you have moved in with her. You were gracious enough to let them stay at your house and this is the way she treats you. Tell your dad if he has an issue then they can leave. I don't understand your cousin's POV on this. Your dad approached you about staying in the house and you accepted. How is that using it over them?
Probably will get downvoted for this but your post reeks of troll. Are you high on marijuana or something? Reads like a boomer trying to write as a millennial. Edited, a word.
Not the asshole. For the record, your new stepmother is tar. Seriously. Who does that in someone else's house? Not the asshole. They can move out now.
Not the asshole. It's time to tell dad and stepmom to move out of your house.
This can't be real.
Not the asshole. At the risk of sounding like a 5-year-old, you might have to sit down with them and give them the hard truth. You're not my mommy. It sounds like maybe she got built up an idea in her head of how being married to your dad she could have some sort of maternal authority over you.
Not the asshole. What is she thinking? Like entitled much. Do you think she's just pissy and self-conscious being supported by her husband's late ex-wife and their child? She really hit the jackpot in her life, eh? Lol. Anyway, NTA. I think this whole situation is amazing.
Not the asshole. You're an adult, albeit a young one, who has done him a tremendous favor in taking him in. Her inability to respect your generosity is really quite disgusting.
Why I have a huge feeling this story miss a lot of context and details.
Not the asshole. Stop valuing your cousin's opinions. None of them are offering to take your father in. You're king of this castle and your father and his wife are guests that have overstayed their welcome. Judging from your stepmother's actions, she probably won't stop trying to control the household with your father's support. Time for them to make other arrangements. Maybe you should ask your busybody cousins to take them.
Not the asshole. Kick out the trash.
Not the asshole. No offense, but you're 20. You're a kid. You're not a full developed personality and you're not well established in a career or skill set. It's just a fact, no shame in it. My point is, you are not in a position to deal with crazy old ladies in your house. You need to be working on understanding yourself and building your life. You need to kick them out. Her actions are far beyond the pale of rehabilitation. She's fucking crazy and it will ebb and flow a little, but will not go away. Take it from a dude in his 40s that had a similar experience. You need to get rid of these people as fast as you can. You're at a very venerable age and need to focus on your own life. Toxic people will easily destroy you at this stage.
Not the asshole. But I'd definitely have them sign a contract.
This is super fake. Like, what?
Not the asshole. Start eviction process now. Good grief. Start documenting everything, all your stuff etc. for that woman to have the balls to come into your room, in your house, and snatch your laptop like you're 5. There's serious screws loose, and worse, your father defending this. Sounds like they're trying to play family, only problem is they fail to realize you're 20-year adult. Please protect yourself, and your house.
Not the asshole. Your house, your rules. Does not matter how you got the house, you are an adult for and carrot sakes. Someone you can't even call your stepmom but is just the new wife of your father, who you let stay in your house, has the nerve to act that way. They should be grateful they have a roof over their heads. The audacity.